Look at this. Look at this. This shirt represents the invitation to darkness. Emperor, their satanic majesties, known as equilibrium, 9 equilibrium. Known as equilibrium was the name of the song, but the album was 9 equilibrium. And it's total black metal stuff, you know. That's the tour I saw him on. I think I'd already read the book, the one about the black metal and how they were all killing each other and stabbing people in the streets and dumping them off. And then, well, there's the drummer. I think it was the drummer Trist. He stabbed somebody in Norway. Oslo, I think it was. And he lured him out to the woods like he was going to have something to do with him. And then he stabbed him. And he went to prison for it. And he killed the motherfucker. And then when he got out of prison, back in the band. They were doing all right. The resurgence of atavistic, something like that. It was a book about how people burning churches in the black metal scene, they were doing it as a pagan rite because the Christians had moved in on their people. Yeah. Are you not entertained? That's straight out of Gladiator, man. They moved in on their people. Those were the Germans, I think. Whatever it is. Barbarians. They all had their pagan rites. And they built their Christian churches on these people's holy ground. They took everything they had from them. They took their religion, they took their faith, they took their sense of dignity, and then they took their holy place and put something on it that would easily burn. And they said, this is ours. And they started burning the fucking churches, which I totally, like I said, put it out yourself. You're not paying taxes. You do not deserve to have tax-paying money go to put your church out. Keep the fire department away. There should be a no-enter zone for the fire department on a church ground. They're not paying for it. Unless you're taking out of the plate. They're probably bribing them, but I doubt it. They're not giving them shit. So one time I was walking to church to screw with people from Wilbur's, all hungover. And an ambulance went woo, 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 going by me on the street. And I put out my thumb, and they just kept going. I said, geez, I could have used a ride. Looks like they were making pretty good time. And then as I'm walking up to the church, into the vestibule, here comes the ambulance with a guy on a stretcher. Church should have paid. And the guy pushing the gurney, I said, I made it. And he looked at me and he was just like, he must have been Catholic. Didn't see the humor in it. I don't know who's going to pay for that ambulance ride. Oh, that guy's insurance. It's the church that caused him to have a heart attack. Why didn't they pay it? So there's the thing. So I was about 30 years old. I don't know if I've ever told you, between the years 30 and 32, and if you listen to my show at that time, you could see a difference. Just everything was going wrong. But where did it start? The night of the Emperor show at the Maritime Hall. Pure Legend and I rolled up there, and while he was just about ready, I was sitting in the living room. Oh. I was sitting in the living room, and I was just ready to go. I'm fucking ready. We're going to see Emperor, their satanic majesties, at the Maritime Hall. And I'm sitting there. Not so aggressive, but there was a knock on the door. And I said, what the hell is that? And I get up and I look through the peephole, and I see these two youngish women standing there going, just like they do when they don't know who's gonna fucking answer the door. And they're standing there, and I say, oh, Mormons. These were Mormons. And so I open the door, and I'm standing there, and they're like, and they're talking to me, and I said, and I started talking, and I started going and going and going and going, and I'm just going, and I'm not even breathing. I'm just like, I'm on my way. And they just looked at each other, and I saw them looking at my abs. I'm a 30-year-old man. I was in good shape then. And they're looking at my abs, and they're just like, and I realized, oh my gosh. And I stopped. I said, I gotta go. I was going to a metal show, and I shut the door on them, and I looked out the windows. They were sisters, you know. I saw they walked down the stairs, and they were going out, and they were going, they were talking, and I said, oh my God, I just tempted nuns. And I thought that was so funny. And so we went to the show, and I think Pure Legend's car was at a place of it that he'd left it on a job, put it that way. I think that's how it worked. And coming back from the show, we were going by where he was gonna need to be. And I said, hey. Oh, his car was in the shop. I said, do you want me to drop you there? And he says, no, how about I just borrow your car? In the morning I could use a nap. And I said, okay. So we went home. We had living quarters, you know. And he took my car in the morning, and then I got a call waking up. The engine blew on the freeway on the way back after seeing their satanic majesties and tempting the nuns. And I was like, And so next thing I knew, I started out riding a skateboard, and then I was driving a Hyundai. You never know how embarrassing that is. This old white little Hyundai. You know, in the beginning, they were just, everybody, well, maybe people buying them now don't remember, but back then it was not the best car in the world to have. And I'm sitting in the Hyundai that would shake at 55 at a stoplight, sitting there waiting for the light to change, and I look over and see a couple young girls, and they're looking and they're grinning and giggling, and I'm like, I'm in a fucking Hyundai. So, yeah, everything went to shit. I started getting tickets. I started getting pulled over for reasons unknown. I started, I've got motorcycle accidents, and I held rattlesnakes, and that's the only thing that didn't hurt me. It all worked. I took everything to court for these things, and I'd walk out clean. But who has time for court? I'm not going for fun. Even if I do have fun when I'm there, I'm not going for fun. This is not my sense of entertainment. Everything went to shit. And it was after their satanic majesties. It was 2 years, everything just kept going to shit. And I'll tell you, I felt like I was about to crack. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I said, why don't I just look at it as a test? Not that I believed it's a test of any sort, but I said, let's look at it like it's a test. I said, am I ready to give up that easy? And all of a sudden, I realized how dark I'd been, because this little spark, just right there, just this little spark of golden light just went, it was like, it was like this. It was just like this. Oops. I didn't expect it to light. It was just a spark. And then over the following weeks, I felt it growing continuously, and things started going better again in my life. That is a weird thing, isn't it? Who's to say what that even means? But to have looked at something as a test. 2 years of awful shit happened. Not awful, just not the best. After having seen Emperor, their satanic majesties, and it's not the worst thing in the world. Sometimes it takes something bad to turn you on to something better. And this is the same shirt I was wearing when Jimmy painted my thing for his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. It still fits.